I've got a very exciting book for you. It's John Adams' Defense of American Constitutional Government, published in 1787.
Okay, and you just have the first book?
Yeah.
Okay, I've perused this book before. John Adams was the ambassador to England when he wrote this. He's over in London, and he ended up writing a series of books in defense of the American Constitution that they were debating when he wrote the first book. This was written, we were still under the Articles of Confederation, which did not work at all.
Right.
Basically, the federal government was way too weak. We needed more of a central constitution, more of a central government. But this whole idea of a constitutional republic, it was new thinking back then. The whole idea of checks and balances and everything was very, very new. People were scared of it. But this particular book, though, it was well sold. Do you know if this is a first edition, second edition?
It's the 1787, so it's the first edition of the first volume.
Okay, how much do you want for it?
Well, as I think it is one of the most important books ever written by an American president, I'm asking $5,000.
It is in rough shape. I mean, it just hasn't been stored well. But then again, the book's almost 250 years old.
Let's hold them together.
So I want someone to look at it, okay? Rebecca, I've worked with her for years, knows more about old books than any person I know, and I deal with a lot of people. So I'm gonna go find her. She's helping me out today, and I will be right back.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Rebecca. How are you?
Good.
John Adams.
Can I take a look at it?
Of course, yes.
Thank you. All right. We've got our 1787. So, Adams was in London when he was working on this, so it came out in London in January of 1787. The Constitutional Convention, of course, starts in the spring in Philadelphia. He had to rush it out because he wanted to make sure all of his arguments about why you needed to have the separation of powers in framing the Constitution was in people's hands before the convention.
All right, so we got first edition,
Yes.
first printing.
Yes.
What do you think it's worth?
So the thing that is really swinging me here is the contemporary binding. Contemporary meaning to the period, not like today.
It was done by an expert bookbinder restorer who specializes in 18th century books, so.
There you go. It is clearly very well done, and the person who did it saved as much of it as they possibly could, which we like to see that. So in a retail environment, I would put $10,000 on that.
Okay. Thanks. You're the bestest. She corrects me on my grammar.
I did not correct you, I just paused.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay, so how much did you want for this thing?
Well, it sounds like I've underpriced it. I was asking for 5, but perhaps I should do more if it's worth 10.
I will make this very, very easy, simple. I'll give you the 5,000, not a penny more, because it's long-term inventory. That's just the best way to put it.
I was asking 5, you're offering me 5, you've got a deal.
Sweet.
Awesome.
All right, take this right over there, and they will get you paid.
Wonderful.
While I've been here in Providence, I got a tip about an amazing collection of Abraham Lincoln items. I'm headed to check out a few items the seller might be willing to part with. I'm honestly very psyched.
Hi, Rick.
Retired Chief Justice Williams, how's it going?
It's going well.
Good.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, this is the first time I've been in a judge's chambers and I wasn't scared.
Well, good. Good.
So it looks like you got some real special things on the table here.
Yes, this is part of the Lincoln collection. I've been collecting books and other artifacts since I was 11 years old, so there's a lot.
I love what you have here. We have a curio card. The image is like probably 1861, 1862.
That's right. And it has the clip signature, and people believe that just the signature alone would be valuable, not realizing that if they left the document alone, it would be worth more.
Yeah. Now, this one right here is pretty incredible. This is a copy of the early photograph of him, correct?
This is an early photograph done in 1860, before Lincoln was president.
That is incredible. And that's the rare thing, because you can tell this is from the glass plate negative. These spots right here,
Sure.
that's because the plate wasn't prepared perfectly, but they never were prepared perfectly. But it's an amazing image of him. Now, this right here is probably the most incredible Lincoln thing I have ever seen.
This is rare, very rare.
That's a Leonard Volk bust.
It is, from the original casting. In 1860, that's why it's beardless.
That's worth a lot of money.
Yes.
That is amazing that you have that. These things just are not left in the public. I mean, museums have snatched all these up. This is, this is exactly what Lincoln looked like because it's a casting of his face. Leonard Volk was a really innovative sculptor at the time, and Lincoln agreed to be lay down on a table, have this plaster of Paris put over his face, straws stuck up his nose so he could breathe, and had to stay still for like a half hour without going insane.
Yes.
I couldn't do it. I would
Yes.
scratch my face off probably. So how much would you be willing to take for this?
I think if I were to get somewhere like $50,000, I might do it.
Okay. A little out of my price range. Okay.
Understood.
And these two right here, how much did you want for?
Well, the photograph, $2,500, and the clip signature is $2,000.
Would you take $2,500 for the pair?
No.
I mean, the price you're asking is fair, but it's right around what I would get for them. So I'm going to thank you for an amazing day coming here.
Okay, Rick, thank you for coming.
I mean, this right here, it was worth the trip just to see the bust.
Anytime.